talk of Texas.
The news and talk of Texas.
News Talk 820.
Talk 820.
WBAP.
WBAP.
WBAP.com.
I'm Marley McCormick in the WBAP newsroom. The Dallas School Board may respond to immigration protests. The story at 8:30 on WBAP.
It's 8:18. Eric Harley in for Brian Estridge along with Hal Jay on this Thursday morning. And the Trump administration reversing a transgender bathroom guidance for schools. Well, you know, there's court cases and there were legal actions against that Obama-era action or guidance.
Yes.
And so what happens when the new guy comes in and says, we're going to undo what the old guy did, and it's still in the courts?
And especially when you take it out of the feds' hands and put it back in the states and the school districts.
That's what we believe that the Trump administration wants to do. Well, let's find out on the legal side how this affects the cases as we bring on from the law office of Scheef and Stone, Byron Henry, who is an attorney. Good morning, Byron.
Morning, Hal and Eric.
What could we expect now from all of these legal actions related to that bathroom guidance that was handed down last year from the former administration?
Well, as you mentioned, the President Obama's guidance that was issued last May basically never took effect for those school districts that did not want to voluntarily comply, because a federal judge right here in Dallas decided that, issued a preliminary injunction blocking the guidance until the case could be fully heard, and then actually went up to the Court of Appeals, and it's stuck in court there. But with the withdrawal of the guidance, my guess is that legal challenge and that issue will be mooted and basically be dismissed, so there won't be that legal challenge anymore because that guidance no longer exists now that it's been rescinded by President Trump. On the home front, it's going to be, as you mentioned, back to the issue is going to be hotly debated in city councils, school districts, and state legislatures across the country. And each city, school district, or state is going to decide how to best balance the privacy interests and safety of individuals in locker rooms and restrooms and dormitories, which this guidance did, of course, apply to more than just bathrooms.
Hey,
of course.
I'm sorry, I was going to say, how do you close the so-called loophole of a boy just deciding, I want to be a girl today and I'm going to go in the girls' restroom? How do you stop that loophole?
Well, some school districts and cities, in fact, had it where they would use single stall restrooms or unisex restrooms, which weren't like community restrooms.
Right.
So a male who identified, I guess is what it is.
And you see those Byron, you see those everywhere. Businesses, airports, you see the man and the woman both on the door, and it's a single stall door, and that just seems to take care of it.
It certainly does, and in fact, a lot of businesses, new construction, and a lot of other building permits and different people in different jurisdictions were dealing with it that way. And of course, in some schools, they were letting individuals that were uncomfortable or needed special dispensation to go to use a faculty restroom and have a little bit more privacy, and that kind of was how it was working its way through. And then, of course, this edict from the federal government came down and basically attempted to stamp out all the Democratic debate and said, if you don't allow boys to use girls' facilities and vice versa, you're going to lose federal funds, which basically created a national issue out of it as opposed to letting it play out locally.
And what about when we get back to like a Fort Worth ISD who was debating this at their school board meetings and how they were going to handle this situation? Do we expect lawsuits on a local level when school districts take action? Is there that kind of legal action? Is that a regular thing?
Well, it's going to be state by state, but if there is state law that applies to the way schools or other public facilities must deal with their restrooms and other private facilities in public buildings and public schools, then they're going to have to comply with state law. And in fact, there is a few bills making it through the state legislature which would address this very issue. But as long as there's not a state law mandating how school districts or other entities deal with this issue, then they're going to be able to decide for themselves. And of course, school district members here or board members are elected, so it'll be through the electoral process that this issue is eventually settled.
So much coming out of Washington, Byron. I'm going to ask to put you on payroll. We'll call you about every 30 minutes. Okay.
Just put them on hold.
Yeah.